Okay, Superman and Lois returned from their hiatus, and it's still really good. And yes, still on the CW. How does this happen? Well, so it picks up where Jordan was in trouble with I forget the guy's name, but he's the one who apparently has super speed powers that he can't quite control, and he beats on Jordan, who panics and calls for Dad, and Superman's instantly there. And this leads into another amazing scene that it's still, it's not the best CGI in the world, but for CW, it's good. It's better than anything you've ever seen on this, which is granted pretty below video game quality. And when I get to the Flash, oh God. But anyway, it's pretty damn good in a scene here, and he ends up having to save a train that this kid more or less inadvertently screws with. And it's great. It's classic Superman stuff of him using his powers to save this train. And it just looks just magnificent and all that. And then the rest of the show is continuing on with, yes, high school soap opera stuff, but it's, at a minimum, which is very wise. There's the ongoing plot with the mystery of the alternate universe Luthor there, who obviously has an interest in Lois, but Lois is already suspicious and pretty much figures out he's not who he says he is. And that's all very interesting because there's a very telling scene. He's interested in what Morgan Edge is up to, but for his own ends, of course. And the mine is just loaded with kryptonite. But it's not just one kind of kryptonite. He manages to blow open a bit of the wall, and there is what looks to be gold kryptonite. Now, he calls it X-kryptonite for the purposes of this show. If it's X-kryptonite, it doesn't work anymore, huh? But of course, if you remember your Silver Age era of Superman, there were different colors of kryptonite. There was the main green one that, hurt him, made him sick, and could possibly kill him. There was red kryptonite that would do weird things to him, change him into a monster or whatever, or make him go crazy, what have you. And but then gold kryptonite was sort of the ultimate one, in the sense that once your Superman or other Kryptonians are exposed to it, it permanently strips away their superpowers, and it's done. It can't come back. Now, there was plenty of alternate universe stories and stuff like that, where I think it was, maybe in John Byrne's Generation story, where this had happened to Superman. He lost his powers, but there was a sample of his DNA stored somewhere, and he was able to restore his powers through those means. And maybe that's some kind of plot line they'll do, because obviously at some point Superman's probably going to get exposed to this, and then at some means he'll get his powers back. But at the same time, you kind of wonder if might be tempted to use this on Jordan for all the troubles he's having, because after his fight with the speedster kid, he took a really bad hit, and it does something to his ears to where his super hearing comes in, but it's like certain sounds. His brother shuts the locker door at school, and it just pierces him and hurts him and all this stuff. At the same time, when he's getting hit with all this pain, his eyes start to glow, and he's like getting ready to explode. And this happens a couple of times, and then on the field, it's about to happen. They have a game, and it's between Smallville and the Metropolis team, which his brother used to be a part of. So now there's kind of this rivalry going. One of them's taunting him over, his ex-girlfriend and all that sort of stuff. And Jordan knocks one of them down, and they never respected him. They bullied him and stuff because he was the little weird kid. And now here he is playing football and taking him down. Well, they can't have that. So after Jonathan scores a touchdown, they all gang up on Jordan and start pummeling him. And this sets him off again. Where his eyes start to glow. And of course, assistant coach Clark Kent is there. Holy crap. So he leaps over there and it kind of covers him with his hands and just let it out, because his super hands can take it. So he lets loose the energy, but it's all in its own weird way. It's a very touching thing. The show is very respectful of Clark Kent as a father, that nothing is easy. It's a struggle, and he has to deal with this and this position that his son is in, and balance it with everything else he's doing. In the meantime, he's got to find this kid who's sort of inadvertently kidnapped Sarah, Lana Lang's daughter. He was seeking her out for help. He doesn't know what to do and all this type of thing. So, yeah, he's a misunderstood, scared kid. But he's, Superman finds him and is trying to help him to rein this in. And then the military shows up. And they just, Sam Lane decided, just blow that kid away. He threatened my grandson. And Superman's like, no. So Superman gets in the way and takes all the bullets. Well, turns out they've got kryptonite rounds, so they shoot Superman with those. And Superman almost loses it himself. He's really pissed. So the same thing, with his son, his eyes glow and all that sort of stuff. It's getting dangerous. But it's like, this is, you sent your troops out with kryptonite rounds and all that sort of thing. So this is causing even further division between him and his father-in-law. And of course, alternate universe Luthor is working that angle as well, and possibly turn Sam Lane against Superman. But, so Superman manages to settle things, and the kid's taken into custody, but he's promises and he'll help him out. But a lot of this is he's convinced that Jordan had something to do with him becoming mutated or what have you, and it seems to be like an offshoot of what Morgan Edge is doing, where he's using kryptonite to somehow create superpowered foot soldiers that have Kryptonian powers. I don't know if they have, because some of them seem to have all of the powers and some only have a few. I don't know, but it looks like the plot's moving along, because now Lois knows that his Morgan Edge's right-hand muscle woman has powers, because she shot at Luthor and Lois when they were in the mine with her heat vision. So, and then Luthor revealed himself, because he's got these high-tech weapons to fight back against it. So I was like, wait a minute. So something's up there, but they got so much going on. And then at the end, Jordan accidentally, he gets mad. The bullies show up again, and he's ready to just slam the guy. But of course, you can't do that. You could kill him. And Jonathan steps in between and puts his hand up, and Jordan ends up breaking his arm. So he's all upset, and he's just like, this is very serious. You got to rein this in. You can't just lash out. And at the same time, he's got some emotional problems. He's lacking in social skills and that sort of thing. He's just not like his brother. And all of this is compounded, and then he collapses. He's having seizures and whatnot, and Superman has to fly him to the fortress, try to figure out what's going on, and that's how it ends. So do watch this show while it lasts, because in this era of just slappy, lazy plot crap with woke stuff smeared all over it to try to protect it from you noticing just how lazy and crap it is, this thing it's in a lot of ways, I'm sure like 10 years ago I was like, it's all right, but now I guess it's really bolstered by the comparison of today's standard of entertainment, if you can call it that. It's just a really good show, and there's a well-rounded, thought-out character development for everybody, even like Lana Lang's husband, who may ultimately become a villain. I don't know, but it's very respectful for him. He gets his point across. It's leveled out. Lois doesn't have an answer for him when he's like, look, Morgan Edge is bringing employment back here. We had nothing. And that's why, he likes the guy, and so it's like, what are you going to do? And his Lois is like, well, yeah. Of course, he's a supervillain. And, so ultimately he's going to be in the wrong, but at the same time, his concerns are valid and not to be dismissed. So it's interesting because a lot of that is just very quickly done. And some characters, like in some of those Marvel shows, where just all of a sudden they're psychopathic murderers, that kind of lazy stuff. I hope that doesn't happen here, because so far so good. And it's like, even like the Jordan character, I wasn't gonna like this kid. But it works, he can be annoying, but that's what he's supposed to be. He's this teenage boy, and he lashes out and he's clumsy in his means of communicating himself, and so it all makes sense. And I'm still baffled by this. How does this exist? And I'm recording this as the news of the day was there's 2 more cartoon series coming now, of a Superman series and a Batman series. And there's not a lot of details about the Batman series other than Bad Robot is co-producing it. So I don't know. The Superman series looks like Lower Decks, the Star Trek cartoon. And even though Lower Decks was probably, oddly enough, the best effort out of Secret Hideout, that's not saying much. And it sounds a lot like Superman will just be humiliated in that story. Plus a race swap to Jimmy Olsen. But yeah, I think someone joked, once you go black, you never go back, because Supergirl introduced black Jimmy Olsen. So maybe that's it, I guess. Same thing with, Iris with the Flash and stuff. So, but ultimately there is a caveat there in that that's kind of been the relationship between Clark and Lois for the most part. But in recent years, after they've been married for so long now, and she knew the secret identity and everything, it's not quite as bad as it was in the early days, where they were playing some kind of weird mind games with each other. It's an odd relationship when you look at it in total, rather than just go with the adventure, But I don't know if it's just a stupid, silly crap, and she's there to teach Superman how to be Superman. That's what it's looking like. So with stuff like that, it's, how did this show happen? It's odd, very odd, but hey, I'll take it. All right. Yes. Keep up with Superman and Lois. It's right now, it's the best thing going. Thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.